They called it Project MORPHEUS, a classified Cold War experiment hidden under the umbrella of neurophysiological resilience studies. Its official goal was simple: to test how long a human being could function without sleep. But the real objective went far deeper: to understand what happens when the mind stops dreaming and starts listening. The project began in 1967 inside an underground research facility somewhere in Eastern Europe. Both American and Soviet scientists were involved, a rare joint operation during a time of global mistrust. The files suggest that funding came from both sides of the Iron Curtain, funneled through front organizations and psychological research programs.
The volunteers were 6 men and 2 women, soldiers, students, a nurse, all healthy, all under 30. They were promised 3 months of isolation, observation, and mental endurance testing. No one was told that the experiment had no sleep cycles built in, no lights off, no rest periods, constant illumination, constant observation.
At first, it seemed harmless. They read books, talked, played chess. By day 3, they began showing minor irritability. By day 5, paranoia. And by day 7, hallucinations. One of the technicians wrote in his report they claimed to hear whispers, but not from the room. They say the voices come from behind the light. To maintain alertness, the subjects were exposed to alternating frequencies, low hums, rhythmic pulses, and pink noise. The scientists wanted to measure how the brain adapts to continuous wakefulness, but instead, something else adapted to them.
At hour 203, one subject began to cry uncontrollably. At hour 220, another started laughing. When questioned, she said, "It's not funny. It's remembering me." The logbook shows increasing anomalies, synchronized movements among subjects, spontaneous bursts of identical phrases. They started speaking in unison, finishing each other's sentences. The researchers called it collective dream resonance, but they were awake the entire time. A memo dated February 12, 1968, marked Morpheus Phase 2, reveals a chilling development. The team decided to deprive the subjects not only of sleep, but also of silence. Continuous auditory stimulation, a mixture of recorded breathing, whispers, and heartbeat patterns, was played through hidden speakers. After 10 days, several participants began to mimic the sounds. After 12, they started responding to them. One fragment of recovered audio captures a subject whispering, "We hear you. You can stop now." But there was no operator on the intercom at that time.
The official timeline ends on day 14. No final report, no medical data, only a short, redacted note. Subjects terminated. Equipment failure. Facility sealed. For decades, nothing more was known, until 1991, when a retired Soviet archivist leaked a box of magnetic reels labeled Morpheus, Echo Session. Most of the tapes were damaged beyond repair, but one survived, labeled File 08, Resonance, Event. The recovered recording begins with heavy static, then a rhythmic pulse, 4 seconds on, 1 second off.
At the 48-second mark, a male voice whispers something incomprehensible, followed by multiple overlapping voices saying, "Wake up." The voices grow louder until the audio cuts with a sudden burst of white noise. Analysis showed the sound contained infrasonic frequencies consistent with human delta waves, the kind normally produced only during deep sleep. Some analysts believe Project Morpheus was an early attempt to weaponize consciousness, to induce dream states in awake subjects, or possibly to map collective neural activity across individuals. Others think it was never about science at all, but about contact. In 2006, a private research group in Prague claimed to have recreated the same acoustic pattern from the tapes. They played it in an anechoic chamber for 10 minutes. Every electronic device inside the room stopped working. The test subject collapsed, pulse steady, eyes open, but completely unresponsive. After 4 minutes of silence, he whispered, "They're still awake." He never recovered. Officially, Project Morpheus never existed. There are no official records, no funding trails, no graves. But across a dozen countries there are reports of identical dreams, rooms of white light, a constant hum, and voices asking the same question over and over. Do you remember me when you don't sleep? And maybe, just maybe, that's why we dream at all, not to rest, but to keep them out.